Have you ever wondered why you don't have everything you desire? We talk about that around here all the time, don't we? Manifesting our desires. And yet, there's always something new to manifest, isn't there? Or something that hasn't manifested that we may have been working on for a while, like years. Yeah, it's that flat tire thing I talk about sometimes. Debbie Ford, in our book this month, The Right Question, suggests that this is because of underlying commitments that we may have that are stronger and more powerful than our conscious commitment that we're committing to today in our newly evolved life as we are continuing our growth and expansion, that we have set our intention, we set our goal, if you will, here. We've got this underlying first commitment that we may have made long, long ago, very powerful. And we may not even be aware of it. We may not even be aware of it. Interesting, huh? May not be aware of it. The power of choice can be considered a blessing or a curse. Would you agree? Yeah. It can be a blessing or a curse. And it's the power of our word. And the freedom, of course, to make our own choices is one of our most precious gifts. And questions is the foundation of that, isn't it? When we are making a choice, well, do I want vanilla or do I want chocolate? You know, we might ask ourselves those questions. Do I want to move to California or do I want to move to Scottsdale, right? We might ask ourselves those questions. We get to make those choices. It's the foundation of choice making. And the reality of our life today is based on the choices we made yesterday, last week, last year, 30 years, right? Everything builds on itself in this thing called life. And the interesting thing is that in this teaching, and Debbie says it in the book as well, that life reflects back to us what we have chosen, doesn't it? It's reflecting back to us all the time. And we sometimes say that if we want to see what we're thinking, just look around our lives and we'll see what's outpictured there, what's manifested, what we've surrounded ourselves with. And Debbie relates this to this idea of choice making, of making choices. My talk today is who's in charge. Can feel that way sometimes, can it? Now wait a minute, I'm practicing the principles, I'm doing the work, I'm doing my spiritual practices. Why is it not working? Who's in charge of this situation? Who do I need to talk to, right? Yeah, we might ask that sometimes. But we're launching our series this month, which is the gift of choice, and using our book of the month, The Right Question. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living, is also the author of The Science of Mind that we teach from, the textbook. He tells us that we cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there's a choice, isn't there? If it were not so, we would not be individuals. So if we agree that we are beings of choice, and that questions are the foundation of those choices, and there's certain things in our lives we may have not been able to yet demonstrate to our full satisfaction, perhaps? Anybody? Maybe? Just a little bit? Then I'm wondering if Debbie's idea of these underlying hidden first commitments could have some validity. Let's look at some examples. She suggests that, again, to find these, that we look around our life. So we're going to take some examples. That's a good way to look at things sometimes, is taking examples for it. So, anybody like a clean house? Yeah. You know, a clean garage, a clean, orderly closet, cupboards, right? We love when it looks that way. About twice a year, I end up in my closet organizing everything. The certain types of clothes, the pants and the dresses and the shirts, organized by sleeve length and color, and right, and you go in and you go, ta-da! Oh my gosh! And it lasts for about maybe 2 weeks or 2 months, right? Until it looks like this closet. Do the next one. That closet. Mine's So, why does this happen? Why does this happen in our lives? We set an intention and we go, yes, this is what I want, and this is how I want it to be, and this is my intention. I'm going to keep it this way. And then some of us have body commitments. We want to work on a health issue, a health challenge. We want to become more healthy. We have a nutrition plan. Maybe we have a new food plan that we want to implement. Maybe we want to have a better physical temple, body temple of working out and being physically strong and that sort of thing. We make these commitments. We're going to do this, right? What happens? What happens? Oh my gosh. Maybe we think we want a successful business career, corporate America. I want the corner office, right? I want all that. And yet, as we look back at that career, we look at our career today and we see not quite where I want it. What's going on? Why is this happening? What is happening? Why am I sabotaging this, maybe? Maybe we want to be financially secure. We want to invest. We want to have savings and security. And yet, year after year after year, that stays on our New Year's resolutions, and we're not quite there. We're not getting there. We're deeper in debt. The debt's piling up. The investments are zero. Right? Why do these things happen? Why do these things happen? We get constantly frustrated, burned out, discouraged, disheartened. It's because we're misaligned. We're misaligned. Our conscious choice are these clean closets and successful careers and financial abundance and security and healthy relationships and all of that, healthy bodies. But we've got maybe an underlying commitment to something else, and we wonder, how could that be? That doesn't make any sense. That's not even logical, is it? It's not even logical. So sometimes we can get caught up in the idea of it's just bad luck, it's just my karma, it's just the way life is. Well, we know that's not true, right? We know that's not true. Sometimes looking back on those things that didn't work out, maybe a relationship or a job, and if we have some clear perspective, we might see where some of our choices actually did sabotage the situation. And we don't really know why. It doesn't make sense. Why would I say that, do that, behave, or take that action? Why would I yell at my boss? Why would I violate company policy that I knew to be the rule? Why would I do that? Why would I say that in my relationship? Why would I take that action or that activity? We can look back sometimes and gain that perspective, but we still may not have that clarity of the underlying commitment that motivated us to behave or take the action that we took or make the choice that we made. So we know we're beings of choice and free will, and we have the power to direct the law of our lives. We teach that here in Science of Mind, don't we? We have the power to direct the law of our lives. But you can see how some of these misaligned commitments that we have and make can create a little havoc and wonkiness and misdirection of the universal law. Because on the one hand, we're saying, this is what I want, is that clean closet. And on the other hand, we have this commitment that's even more loudly proclaiming, my commitment's really over here. Now, in my case, my commitment is probably to time, right? It's easier to take that laundry rather than sorting it and putting it back in the places it needs to go and just go, oh, I'll do it later. So everything that just got cleaned goes in the one spot. Or the dry cleaning comes in, I'll get it later, right? And then the next thing you know, the closet looks like the second one. It's all over the place. As opposed to taking the time to methodically put things back where they belong and keep it looking the way that I like it to look. So my underlying commitment in that case is this idea of time and going to do something else that I would prefer to do, right? That's my underlying commitment there. So let's think about a food plan. We've made a commitment to a food plan. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to reduce my carbohydrates. We go out to dinner with a friend. And we sit down at the table and we see this wonderful plate of pasta go by. And we smell the pasta and the garlic. And we just start going, ooh, I think I need that. And the voice goes off in our head and says, what? No, no, no. You're on a new food plan. You can't have that. And then the other voice goes off in your head and says, what? Oh, well, maybe a little bit. Hey, I've got it. I'll get the salad so that I'm getting full, and then I'm just going to eat half of it. And I won't even take the other half home. I'll just eat half of it, and I'll be good. So we order the pasta. And the next thing you know, we've had the salad, and we look down, and all the pasta's gone too. Whoops! And we get home, we go, oh, that was so good. And then that same voice that betrayed us in the restaurant is now going to berate us at home, right? You failed. You can't keep your commitment. You can't stay on this plan. What is wrong? Am I the only one? But it's the same voice, isn't it? There's nobody new there. It's the same voice that's now betraying me in my head that is saying this. So what's the underlying commitment in that case? What's the underlying commitment? Debbie suggests that in those moments when we are at a recognizable choice point in our lives, that we ask ourselves, what am I committed to in this moment? What am I committed to in this moment? Is it feeling better, instant gratification to ordering the pasta, perhaps? And then one of the 10 questions that we're looking at this month is, will this decision propel me toward my inspiring future, the commitment, my body commitment that I have made, to keep me stuck where I've been? Will it propel me in the direction of my dreams, or is it going to keep me stuck in the same old that I've been having? Well, in that instance, it's going to keep me stuck, isn't it? Because nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Science of Mind tells us if we don't control our minds control us. It sounds like an interesting woo-woo statement, doesn't it? But remember the voice I was just talking about? Who's that voice? Who are both of those voices? Moving through this process of understanding our underlying commitments or our first commitments, we have to ask ourselves some questions to dig deep enough to find out what is that underlying commitment that I have in this moment. Is it the rebel child? Did you make that decision when you were 15? I will not be controlled by anybody. I will not be told what to do by anybody. I will make my own decisions. I can spend my money any way I want to. Or was it a sense of being deprived as a young person? There was never enough. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to make all the money I can make. I'm going to spend it any way I want to. I'm going to burn through it exactly the way I want to. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Even though you've grown to the point now where you say, I really want to have a nice savings nest egg. But you've got the underlying commitment that goes, I'll spend my money any way I want to. So there's no self-control in that, right? There's no self-control in that. Or maybe there's a situation where, there's no discipline. You hear that voice in your head. You're just not a disciplined person. And you think, I'm a disciplined person. But yet that voice is maybe a parent who said that to you, and it's become an excuse. It's become an excuse to not be disciplined, to not fulfill your commitments in life. Because if I fulfill my commitments, that means I have discipline. It means I disappoint my mother and make my mother or my father wrong. These can be very deep, challenging, old commitments that we have that continue to sabotage our adult selves, our conscious thinking, this hard work we're doing to evolve our realization of who we are. It can continue to sabotage it for us if we don't get in touch with some of these things and ask some of these questions. If you've ever felt victimized by your choices or failed to create a change or reach a goal, I have. I don't know if anybody else in the room has, but I have. I have felt that way. And so it's time to maybe look at the underlying commitments and ask ourselves that question when we fall off of our plan, when we're not achieving our goal. You know, if there's that one area of life that's not working out, you know, everything's great except for my health. Everything's great except for relationship. Everything's great except for finances. Everything's great except I can't my career. I hate my job. It's the flat tire. The thing that's just all of our life not quite been the happy place for us, right? There's an underlying commitment there. There's an underlying commitment there that's causing that. So one of the questions that we can ask as we're going through this questioning process is, are we considering the long-term consequences of our short-term thinking? Not usually. Anybody buy from a gut feeling? Oh, yeah. Or if I need to go shopping, I'm sure I'll feel better. Mama needs new shoes. I'll feel much better if Mama gets new shoes. It'll take away everything, right? Make me feel much better. Yeah, sometimes we use stuff like that to make us feel better. But it's a long-term consequence, not keeping up with my savings goals because I'm out spending on shoes to make me feel better. Debbie talks about magical thinking. And I like what she says about it. She says, somehow we believe that we will miraculously land at our destination without making new choices. I like the idea. I really do. It sounds easy. However, what is it they say? We can't keep doing the same thing, making the same choices, and expect different results. And that's banging your head against the wall and expecting the wall to move, right? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of common sense stuff that in order to have and experience something different in our life, we have to be different, make different choices, different decisions, show up differently. Otherwise, it's going to be the same old, same old. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as we don't beat ourselves up about it, right? That's really where the problem and the challenge lies, is that if our life is going along and we think we need to be this way, but we're this way, and we beat ourselves up in the middle, that's the harmful part, isn't it? That's where we hurt ourselves and we create our own suffering. If we can be okay with this, go for it. Go for it. But if you truly are striving over here, looking at this underlying commitment might be a key to that transformation. Might be a key to the transformation. So Mitch was telling us last month, and of course Science of Mind has told us for 100 years about the treat and move your feet. And it's the same idea here. New choices, change your thinking, change your life. Make new choices, change the effects in your life. And it sounds easy, but we all know making new choices is not. Why? Anybody else have autopilot? I got a good one. Autopilot works, doesn't it? I mean, I can multitask while I'm driving down the road. I haven't figured out yet how to make the car go in the right direction while I write, but anyway, we'll get there. Maybe I'll talk anyway. So back on the autopilot, we just go into the old choices we've always made because they're easy and comfortable. New Year's resolutions is a big societal thing that demonstrates this, isn't it? What's one of the number one New Year's resolutions? Lose weight, go to the gym, get fit. Gym memberships spike, don't they? Anybody that goes to the gym regularly, you can't get in January because there's all these new people there on the machine. February, it begins to drift off. March, it's back to normal. Because the choices are right back where the choices used to be. The alarm goes off. Oh, no, I don't want to go. I'll go tomorrow. Anybody said that? I'll go tomorrow. I'm not going to go today, but I will go tomorrow. Or even better, I'll go tonight after work. That never happens, does it? No, we're exhausted after work. We just want to go home, put our feet up. So that's a prime example of this idea of the underlying commitments and falling into these patterns. Debbie says that this whole book The whole idea of the 10 questions is based on something you may have heard. The truth will set you free. The truth will set us free. That was said by Jesus, of course, in the Bible. And then Ernest Holmes says it in The Science of Mind, and Debbie says it here in this work. The truth will set us free. And what she's talking about is being truthful with ourselves and understanding these underlying commitments so that we can be truthful with ourselves about what is important to us, about what is truly important to us. Maybe not a should, but what is real for us. The more we know and learn, the more freedom we have, and the more self-reliant we can become. Choice can bind us, and many people don't realize how the law works, but it's always working. And as Holmes said, we're not choiceless. We're always making a choice. Even a non-choice is a choice, isn't it? Even a non-choice is a choice. Choosing to ignore something is a choice. Wow, it's all choice. It's all choice. But sometimes we would rather blame those around us. Government, corporate America, the boss, the parent, the spouse, system. We'd rather blame something for what's going on here as opposed to recognize the choices that we are making and the freedom we have to change our choices at any time and to make a new choice. There's a Russian proverb that says, bitter truth is better than a sweet lie. And this applies to our thinking, doesn't it? It applies to our thinking. When we understand those underlying or hidden commitments, these first commitments, it could be painful. It could be painful when we recognize what they are and go, oh my goodness, that's what that's about. But knowing that truth, then what? Then we can begin to transform it if we choose, can't we? We can begin to transform it. The weight just won't go away, the bank balances won't move, the debt just keeps growing, or the romantic partnership always ends the same way. Are we doomed to live that way? Are we doomed to live that way? Or is there a way to really expose these underlying commitments that we have? I've given you a couple of examples, but those may not be relevant to you. So what I want to do is move into our practicing the principles today and share with you the process that Debbie outlines in her book. So this is how we're going to do our practicing the principles. And I want you to play along with me, okay? She says to write down a desire that you've been unable to attain. So just think about in your mind a desire that you have been unable to attain. Maybe it is your New Year's resolution. Remember we did the burning bowl and released all of 2018 and we set our new intentions for 2019. Maybe think about that. It could be financial, relationship, health, career. The chief aim that we talked about last month in the Miracle Club. And think about that goal. Make a list of all of the actions in your head that you have taken or not taken in the last 12 months that are in direct opposition to that goal. It could be what you've done since January, if that's an easier time frame to wrap your head around that New Year's resolution, or if you can think back to last July, the things that you've done. And I'm going to invite you to just think about 3 today. Just think about 3 today that you've done that do not support your goal, that are in opposition to it. Number 3, using this list, imagine that these choices are an expression of your first commitment. Those 3 things that you did in opposition to your goal could suggest the underlying commitment that is your priority. Make sense? And now close your eyes and ask yourself, what commitment are these choices in direct alignment with? What commitment are these choices in direct alignment with? Am I being a rebel? Being right? Being wrong? Do I want to be taken care of instead of taking care of? freedom, security. These are just a few of the things, and these are going to be very individual for each of us. Open your eyes when you're ready. Breathe. It may be the underlying commitment. Maybe your underlying commitment. Ford cautions us in this moment, do not criticize yourself for the choices that you've made. Do not blame yourself for the choices that you've made. Be grateful, even joyous, in having discovered that, so that you can now, today, take steps in the other direction. Take steps to heal it. Once we see what that is, then we can begin to decide, is that more important to me than what I say I'm trying to achieve? Or is it time to heal that and begin to focus anew on my new commitment? Make sense? She says that we usually have created these at some point in our life where we felt overburdened, overwhelmed, undernourished. And I really think those words are powerful. If you think about times in your life that you felt that way, your whole life, overburdened, overwhelmed, undernourished. And undernourished really resonated because there's so many areas of our life that we can be undernourished in, isn't there? There's not just food and physical substance nourishment. There's nourishment of love, of kindness, of caring and compassion. There's nourishment of material things. Like I said earlier, if we felt neglected as a child, there was never enough. Maybe we've got some commitment that was built around that. So overburdened, overwhelmed, and undernourished might be 3 words to take into your meditation practice and see if that helps to reveal these commitments that have been made at an earlier time in your life. Reminds me of the Scarlett O'Hara quote from Gone with the Wind. Anybody seen that movie? Gone with the Wind, yeah. Pack a lunch, right? But at the end of it, what does she say? She says, as God is my witness, I will never be hungry again. Imagine saying that as a child. What would that do? What would that commitment do? It could go a lot of different directions, couldn't it? Go a lot of different directions. So asking ourselves the question, will this choice propel me toward an inspiring future, or will it keep me stuck in the past? But think about Debbie's question. She's got a negative and a positive in every question. And my brain, science mind, wants to always focus on the positive piece of it. So looking at those questions, looking at that question as a positive trigger for when I am in the car going to the gym, is this choice going to propel me toward an inspiring future? Yes! When I'm ordering the salad, is this choice going to propel me towards an inspiring future? Yes! Right? When I'm making the deposit in my savings account or writing out that investment check, is this going to propel? Yes! So anchoring in the positive side of that, and the times when we do have the keeping me stuck in the past, okay, am I willing to stay there? Am I willing to stay there? So I want to close this today with a quick reading from the book, and it's in the chapter called Exposing Your Underlying Commitment. There's a whole chapter on it. She says we can't be traveling east and west at the same time. We're going either one way or the other. We can't lower our cholesterol while eating chocolate cake and fried chicken every day. We can't build a nest egg when we spend all of our monthly income. We can't have an intimate relationship while deceiving our partner. It's unlikely that we will have a career of our dreams if we choose to stay in a job that feels safe and never take any risks. We won't meet our fitness objectives if we choose to sit in front of the TV instead of going out for our daily walk. We must choose our path. If you really want to change your life, you must make new choices. So I hope you can join us for this all month. And it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And right before offering, we're going to hand out the 10 questions so that you can have these with you. We'll do that in a little bit, Don. You can have those with you to, actually, let's do it now. Let's go ahead and do it now. Thank you, Don. You can have these with you and refer to them. You'll see that it's towards an inspiring future, long-term fulfillment, standing in my power, looking for what's right, add to my life force, catalyst to grow and evolve, empower me, self-love, act of faith, and choosing from my divinity. All powerful jumping off spots for us. So next time you're thinking about lasagna, look at the list. So at this point, I would like to close this out with an affirmative prayer this morning, if you would join me in prayer. How good it is that we come together on Sunday mornings in celebration of life and unity and connection. We're so blessed to be able to do this each and every week. And so from this place of grateful blessing, I recognize that there's only one power, one life, one presence, and that is God. The power, the presence, the one life, the love, the harmony, the peace, infinite intelligence and wisdom. God is all there is. There's nothing outside of it. And knowing that, I know that I am a manifestation and expression of this divine presence. That I am the love and the peace and the joy and the harmony. And as I know this for myself, I know that for each of us gathered here this day, that we are all that divine harmony, wisdom, and intelligence, and peace. And as I bring our community into this prayer, I'm also going to bring in all of those impacted by the recent violence across our country, Dayton, Gilroy, El Paso. As we bring all of those families into our hearts in this moment, we know this peace of God for each of them. We also know resolution to this escalating challenge of violence in our country. That whatever the healing is that needs to occur, whatever the infinite wisdom and intelligence that needs to come forward through us to healing, to resolution, to solving this issue. I accept that now. I accept that divine wisdom and intelligence through our leaders, through all of those working diligently on this. And I know peace and connectivity for all of the families that are impacted by it. I know healing for those that are recovering. And I know gratitude for those who responded, took care of each and every one. And so I bless our community this day, knowing as we come together and lift our prayers into this universal consciousness, where two or more are gathered, Spirit is here. And I know that this prayer manifests. And as we each hold our light and hold this prayer in our heart and hold this conscious awareness in our prayers, the resolution comes. Resolution is already in the mind of God. It just has not yet been revealed. It's like electricity in the day of Moses. It existed. It just had not been revealed to the mind of man, and that's what we await now, is this revelation through the mind of man to heal this rip in the fabric of our country. And so it's with a grateful heart that I know this truth, that I know the manifestation of this prayer, and that I release it into the action of law, the activity of mind, accepting its manifestation here and now. And we affirm this together by saying, and so it is.